Keith, hi. Tell us about what I'm seeing here.
Okay, so this is the world's first commercially certified gyrocopter. Gyrocopter being distinct from a helicopter in so much as there's no actual motorised propulsion to the rotors. They're in auto-rotate always. Makes it actually a really good flying platform, particularly for low-speed, low-altitude stuff, because it's incredibly safe at those altitudes, much safer than any other form of aircraft, in fact. But we've just spent the last 2.5 years with the German manufacturer of this aircraft, together with the CAA, obtaining commercial certification for the aircraft.
What have you got on the front there that I can see? That's
So on the front we've got the Dynamic Perspective, which is an Austrian company who make very good quality 5-axis gimbal. Of course, the important thing for us was not that there weren't any other 5-axis gimbals out there, but there weren't any other 5-axis gimbals out there that this small aircraft could take. So when we came across Dynamic Perspective, it was like a match made in heaven, because they have a very lightweight gimbal, but we also didn't want to sacrifice quality of stabilisation just because it was lightweight, and we're very pleased to say that this performs on a par with any other system.
So this is 70 times zoom lens, or what have we got in there?
So
does it vary on what you spec?
The nice thing about the gimbal, and one of the other reasons we wanted to choose it, is from an operator's point of view, as we are, BeyondHD need the capability to be able to be filming a commercial one day, a feature film the next day, and then live broadcast. So the beauty of it is we can fit it with your standard Reds, with Aries, but then if we want to go broadcast, we can put a Hitachi, a Panasonic, a P1 in there, and then we put the downlinks in. So live broadcast is something that is very comfortable for this aircraft. And the biggest advantage of it is that it's cheaper to operate.
How much an hour? If you were operating one of these, and helicopters these days are too expensive virtually for anyone to run other than the BBC and Sky.
Yes.
But, what did this work out an hour?
So you're looking at somewhere around about £1,000 an hour.
Okay, it's about half the price, or probably more than half the price of a helicopter.
Yeah, it is, and part of the reason for that is the operational cost to us is much lower than a helicopter. The fuel cost is much lower, so we burn about 23 litres an hour of unleaded fuel, compared to a lot more. So
you're hiring it out rather than saying this is something that broadcasters should buy?
We're doing both, really. We have a slightly strange situation in the market that we, as BeyondHD, are operators. So we do a lot of feature films, live broadcasts, and that sort of stuff. So we are an operator. We have our own commercial pilots for these. We have our own aircraft and complete system. But we also help Dynamic Perspective because we love their gimbal. So the gimbal and the aircraft is available through us as well.
Can you tell me a bit about the speed of the gyrocopter and the height it can go to?
Indeed. So probably the important heights are the height it can go down to. So we are very happy and safe to operate at the minimum regulation, which is 600 feet. We can apply for permission with the CAA to go down lower than that in particular cases. And to be honest with you, being an auto gyro, it's really the only aircraft I feel comfortable in at that height and that speed, knowing that if we had an engine failure, I could find somewhere the size of a tennis court and I could land it safely, even if the engines failed at 400 feet.
And what speed would you normally be going at for filming? I mean, what's the lowest speed you can go?
So typically we would fly, we need 35 knots, 25 knots, about 35 kilometers an hour of airspeed. So we can either get that airspeed by moving through the air. Obviously if there's a headwind, we can effectively look like we're stationary. But one of the things that helps us is with this gimbal, we've developed a certified gimbal mount. Now this gimbal mount is actually hydraulic, so it's raised up for takeoff, but after takeoff we can drop it down like this, which effectively brings it down below the level of the wheels.
Concord's nose, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, maybe not quite so elegant, but so the beauty of it is we can get full 360s underneath the aircraft.
So how many people can get inside? Could you just give us a look inside, maybe?
Tour inside, yes. Sorry about all the brochures.
That's okay.
So basically you have the pilot on the right, just like a helicopter, and then the gimbal operator would typically sit on the left here, controlling the gimbal.
So you put a camera person up to basically, or the gimbal operator.
Absolutely.
To keep that all working.
And for broadcast, obviously, we would have a downlink, one of the names, you know, a Cobham or something like that. But we also use that for film and documentary, because we can't obviously take a director and a DOP up in the aircraft with us, so what we'll often do is we'll use the live broadcast capability so that they can see what's going on and advise us if they want a different shot or whatever.
Now, I'm going to ask a difficult question. A lot of broadcasters now are investing in drones, which at £600 a go mean you've got your own ability to do most of the aerials you'd want. So where do you think this has got a market?
Okay. First of all, we're very drone friendly. We operate a fleet of very high-end drones ourselves, so I have no aspersions against the drones. What I would say is I always consider the drone sweet spot to be a very flexible 400-foot range technocrane. So you work in a small bubble. You've got a 400 feet altitude, you've got line of sight. But of course, one of the bigger problems with drones now is the regulations and how close you can get to roads, people, buildings and all those sort of things. So that isn't improving at the moment. That's getting worse. And what we're finding is we're now getting to a situation where once upon a time we might have used a drone to do a tracking shot of a vehicle near a high street or a road or over houses. You can't do that anymore. Well, not legally anyway. You can't do that anymore with those. So what we're finding is that actually this is fitting a bill, because the alternative would have been to jump straight to a helicopter, which is a massive difference in terms of
So in the
cost.
UK, if ITV wanted to hire one of these, are you operating now?
Yes, we are. We're absolutely operating. We operate out of Fair Oaks and Rochester Airport, just to the south of London.
Brilliant, that's in the Meridian patch, right?
Oh, perfect for you. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's why we put ourselves there, of course. And we're based at Pinewood Studios.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. That was a great information session for us.
You're welcome. Thanks.